reality. Look, in modern reality, guys, I just want to move on quickly, if I can, to the petition that's been launched in this ongoing bid to recognise Edward Teddy Sheean for a VC. Now, can you explain to me the technicality? What is the technicality that's preventing this? Because by any measure, what this man did was extraordinary.
Well, okay. Teddy Sheean, of course, went down the ship 1st of December 1942 with the Armidale, and a most incredibly brave act, and he was seen firing as the ship went down. He was at the side, but he saw his men getting strapped in the water, Japanese Zeros. He went back to the anti-aircraft gun, strapped himself in. He knew at that time that that would be it because the ship was going down fast. He strapped himself in, he shot down one, damaged another Zero, and he did that to help save his mates, and he gave up his life for his mates. There were independent adult witnesses. Now, you just asked about the context. Up until World War II, the British Admiralty were responsible for granting of VCs, Victoria Crosses, to Royal Australian Navy personnel. Of course, that never occurred and still has never occurred in the 100-year history of the Royal Australian Navy. Right. So out of our 100 VC recipients, we have 0 from the Royal Australian Navy. So when I pushed in the Senate, and together with others, we got an inquiry into this whole thing, and it wasn't just Teddy, but to 12 others, Simpson and his donkey, and quite a few others worthy recipients. Frankly, they came up with a decision which said he was not worthy of a VC, and indeed made a decision that all other of those nominated, the 13 nominated, would not receive a VC, or indeed any upgrade to their medal. He did receive what's called mentioned in dispatches, which is the lowest level of commendation. So we did further research. We said that's not good enough. It was a bit of a whitewash in my view. And so we kept on. And together with Gary Ivory, who I must say is a standout on behalf of the family, and all the Teddy Sheean's family have been fantastic. So we said we will not give up. We will fight on. So that's what we're doing. So we've launched this petition to support a submission to the British Admiralty. We made contact with Prince Harry when he was here earlier this year, and he's written back to us through his office to say thank you for that. He shows personal interest in the story, and he's referred the matter to the Defence Secretary in the UK. So we feel that's a good signal. It's a positive sign, and we will be making a submission towards the end of the year once we've collected all the petitions and they're tabled in the Parliament in the last week of Parliament of November this year. And we'll get all that together and we'll get a submission off to the British Admiralty for reconsideration of this matter.
It's obviously a bit of a process. Am I right in thinking that the British Admiralty has, in fact, or the board anyway, has awarded VCs to British nationals who sort of did similar things? Is that am I reading that correctly?
You are absolutely 100% correct. Yeah, okay. A young man called Jack Mantle, and he's certainly noted in the submissions that we've made to the government, and it's on the public record. He was in a very similar position, and the German fighters were bombing and sunk his vessel, the Foil Bank, again early in the Second World War. And of course, his actions, he subsequently died, and his actions posthumous VC for Jack Mantle. So we've used that example in our submission that we will be putting to the British Admiralty.
It's, I don't know, look, Guy, I fully understand why we're doing this and the value of doing it. It just, as a long-standing Republican, it makes me a little angry that we have to go cap in hand to the British Admiralty to award one of our own. It just, that grates on me a little, I've got to say.
It grates on me too. It's frustrating. Why do we have to go to this expense? But we're using the attributes that Teddy Sheean demonstrated, and that was to be determined and to fight on. And that's the symbol on a submarine. He has been recognised with a naming of a submarine, Collins-class submarine, after him, which is the first time for an ordinary seaman, which is fantastic, and fight on is his motto. And of course, we in Tasmania, we have the Tasmanian Government Teddy Sheean Memorial Grants, which go to RSLs all around Tasmania for upgrades and appropriate equipment, etc. Okay. And that's also to be noted and commended.
When we took over the award system, the military award system, bar the VC from, I think it was in the 80s, wasn't it? I think it was Bob Hawke was sort of kicked that off.
Yes.
But we left the VC in the hands of the Brits. Was that, in retrospect, a bit of a mistake?
Well, not really. They were handed over, as you say. It became an Australian VC, mid-80s, I think it was, as you say, and I think that was the right decision. So it's now an Australian Victoria Cross. Up until then, it was the British Victoria Cross.
But we can't do it retrospectively. Is that the problem?
Well, I think it can. Well, I know it can be done. It can be done,
okay.
But it hasn't been done, and maybe with fresh eyes and a new inquiry or something. But that's why we got the inquiry going about some years ago, early 2011, 2010, and through the Senate, and that happened. And we got the inquiry, and then, as I say, it just didn't deliver, because I think one of the reasons they thought the tribunal at the time thought that it would open a can of worms, and if they gave it to
really?
then what about it? What about everybody else?
Give me a break.
Well, I can understand that argument, but frankly, it's not good enough, because if it's the right thing to do, they should just do it.
Yes, absolutely. This is a thing of, did it happen the way it was described? And if so, it is an extraordinary act of valour and should be rewarded, or at least recognised. Tell me, what if it fails in the British Admiralty Board next time round? What right of appeal do we have? Where do we go from there?
Brian, we're not thinking of failure. We're thinking positive. We will cross that bridge when we come to it, and I hope we never come to it. And I hope that with all the petitions and support, the community support, and with a well-crafted submission, I hope that we get success. So I'm not thinking any further than that. Neither is Gary Ivory and the family.
All right, and officially from now on, neither am I. Guy Barnett, anything I can do to push the cause along, at least publicly, or indeed will you come and have a chat with us when Teddy Sheean is in fact awarded his Victoria Cross?
Well, we'll let you know when the petitions are in. You'll hear about that, and obviously the submission going off to the British Admiralty. But appreciate your support, Brian.
No, absolutely guaranteed, Guy. Anytime you give me a call, and we'll have a chat. I appreciate your time today. And look, everybody should go out and get a copy of our heroes, Tasmania's Victoria Cross recipients. It's available at most RSLs. Now, I did pop into the Launceston RSL yesterday in South Lonnie to try and grab a copy. They hadn't actually been delivered there yet, but they are at the government offices, at least in Launceston, okay, which is St John Street from memory. Okay, so look, grab a copy. This should be in every school library. Every kid should be handed one of these books. I mean, the school can make the donation that goes back to the RSL. That's fine, $5. It's not a huge amount of money. And obviously, Guy's not making any money out of it either. But this is a book that should be read by every school kid in Australia. I don't care what your background, I don't care what your religion, I don't care what your ethnicity or your cultural sensibilities. The reason you have a bunch of freedoms in Australia right now is because of men like this and families like this who sent their kids away to die on our behalf, to fight for those freedoms. And God knows, one of the things I've been doing for my 25-year broadcast career is to maintain those freedoms, not see them whittled away by people who'd like to take them away from us. And believe me, they're out there. 1300 00 1012 is the number. 1300 00 1012. I appreciate Guy Barnett's time this morning.